Your ad hooks and headlines are pretty much the make or break of any campaign that you run in existence. A lot of people and a lot of businesses run ads, and I see them all the time, and they're just not as good most of the time because there's a misunderstanding of what stage a market is at and what works and what doesn't. Because what works 5 years ago just does not work today. So for example, even 20 years ago, what Apple used to do, Apple used to advertise the iPhone as like, Apple reinvents the phone. Like it's just a phone, but it's a new concept, like an iPad, a phone, and an internet communicator all in one. That's the iPhone. So the iPhone is like it can play your music, it can talk to people, it can also browse the internet. That's how they were advertising when the iPhone first came out, because the market level was on just one. The market sophistication wasn't as good. And I have all of these charts over here to kind of like show you, and also make sure that you ingrain this in your head on what level of market sophistication your target audience might be. And you might be just running ads at a very outdated stage. So for example, level 1 is a brand new market. You can make any claim you want. So over here, level 2, make a bigger claim than your competitors. So this is, of course, iPhone has already launched. Now they're on their third variation. So the example is twice as fast and half the price. So at this stage, people already know what a phone is and they already know the features. And of course, it can do the internet. All of this is old news now. If somebody advertised like, hey, this phone can run internet as well, it also has a calculator, like people won't care. At this point, people want twice as fast, half the price. And pretty much Apple nailed it over here as well. And this is the angle iPhone decided to take because they understand the market and they wanted to make a claim that's bigger than their competitors. Let's check at level 3. Level 3 is introduce a big differentiator that supports the claim and convinces the mind. Introducing a convincing differentiator. So the market state over here is like big promises are everywhere and you must prove how. So over here in level 3, they're just talking about features. Like example, there's an app for that. So there's, if somebody wants to, I don't know, like do something very specific, Apple was like, there's an app for that. So over here we have the subheadline, App Store plus multi-touch plus Safari, the first real computer in your pocket. So other mechanisms Apple has used was the Retina display, Face ID, and Siri. So this is where the Siri was coming, the Face ID was coming. So people were still going based on the features and also the wow factor, because at this point, phones are pretty much everywhere and very relevant when it comes to like everyone's day-to-day use. And then level 4, they needed a new better mechanism because at this point, they have to create a newer or better differentiator or improve on the previous one. And this is just, of course, taking level 3 and improving the messaging. So for example, in level 3, they talked about, App Store, multi-touch, Safari, we all know what that is. But in level 4, they're talking about like night mode with deep fusion, clear, detailed photos in the darkness, a series chip plus ProMotion plus ceramic shield, or most durable, fastest iPhone yet. So they're getting more and more advanced with their messaging. They're not just talking about, okay, this phone has a camera, because that doesn't work. And a lot of you guys running ads do this exact thing. Like, yeah, I mean, we have the latest calculator and we also can record videos in 4K. Like nobody cares about that. Like the market might be level 5 and you're talking to like a level 2 market. It doesn't work. And of course, the last level is the level 5, which is the differentiator, and which is that differentiator burns out. Audience skepticism is at an all-time high, and full-on empathic marketing is the only option now. So over here, what they were doing is, this is something they did pretty recently. So they recorded this whole commercial for one of the Apple launch, and towards the end, they said shot on iPhone. So this is like real user stories, films, focusing on the outcomes, values, and identity, and also creativity, privacy, accessibility, instead of just, making raw claims. So this was like they were proving to the people how good their product is by actually just, sharing case studies, if anything, in Apple's definition. So over here, I have some real life examples of ad hooks and headlines. And these are pretty recent ads. So there's no clear indication of these are working or whether these are not working. And I can confidently say I've pretty much sectioned out the ones that I'm pretty confident not working and the ones that are working. So over here, we have some of the ads which are pretty simple. It says your best smile starts here. Ready to love your smile. A smile you love to share, like with stock photos. These won't do anything. These might get the odd click here and there from the person who's clicking everything and filling out everything. I need to meet people like those. I don't know why they do that, but for some reason they do. So these ads just won't necessarily work because when it comes to dentists, and all of these examples are dentists because I wanted a consistent topic to talk about or a consistent business to talk about. So when it comes to dentist marketing, I think it's safe to assume they're pretty much on the level 3 or level 4 side of things. Like people know if they want to improve their smile, they know they need to go to a dentist. Like that's not the selling point anymore. So yeah, ads like these won't necessarily work. And then over here, I have also 2 variations of ads, and this is where we talk about the hooks. So I'll open this one first so we can kind of like see a live example.
Hey, I'm Dr. Rodney Onward.
And I'm Dr. Erica McFadden. Welcome to Evolve Dentistry.
We know that going to the dentist can sometimes feel very...
So this is a good retargeting ad, but it is not a good cold audience targeting ad. So for example, if a new person is watching this, they wouldn't care. Like they just would not care. They're scrolling through Instagram and they see this ad like, hey, I'm Rodney. Hey, I'm this person. Like nobody cares. Like people want to have some sort of value throughout the ad. You need to have people to actually stop their scroll and watch the video, watch the ad. Because if your ad is not blending in, or if your ad doesn't feel like it has a good hook or any reason for the cold person to stay, by cold person I mean like the cold audience, it's just not going to work. So this type of ad I would always use for retargeting. So you've been pushing out 5 to 6 ads on a weekly basis to people for the last 3 months. Now you can perhaps retarget those people who've already consumed a lot of your information with this type of ad, where you introduce yourself, you introduce the offices, and that might convert better. And that won't even require a bigger budget because at that point, they're familiarized to who you are, the value you've provided. They maybe consume some of your information. So now the market is ready to consume this type of content as a retargeting ad, so they can get a deeper look of what you exactly have going on within the service and just get a familiarity to the point where a patient does walk in, they already know what the store looks like. So I get what the purpose is of this ad, but how it's set up is incorrectly and where it's being targeted is also incorrectly. It only should be working as a retargeting campaign after a lot of value has already been consumed by a prospect. All right, and also we had this ad, which let me see if it's still active. Okay, so it's not active. What's this? I'm not sure what this is. So even in this video, I'm pretty sure they took it off because it wasn't performing. And I literally, at the time of this recording in the morning, so they definitely took down this ad. I literally got this board prepared the morning of this video. So it's not like I prepared this board 2 weeks ago. This was the morning of this video. So even my assumption is correct. Like these ads don't perform, and they took this ad down because it wasn't performing. And I can tell you why as well. Like this ad started with, hey guys, my name is Dr. XYZ and I'm here in XYZ. Like that stuff doesn't work. Like nobody cares who you are unless you get Kim Kardashian or Justin Bieber to kind of like show up and do an ad for you. Like, hey guys, my name is Justin Bieber. Like people will stop for that ad because that's a familiar face. That's somebody they've listened to for years, watched for years. They will obviously stop for that video. But that same logic does not apply to somebody who that person has never ever seen in their life. Like, hey guys, my name is like the instant scroll. So you need to provide value and you need to have a hook that completely stops their scroll. You need to take a step by step. Step 1 of your ad, the main specific goal of the ad is, how do I get this person to watch the value portion of this ad? If the hook, the step 1 of this ad doesn't translate them to watch the value portion of your ad, it's just not going to work. So step 1 needs to make sure that they watch the secondary part of the ad. And step 3 is always optional. Like step 2 doesn't necessarily mean they have to always watch the step 3. The goal I set for step 2 is just they need to make sure they click on book now or the learn more button. I always set it to the learn more button so they can actually click on the landing page, which is, by the way, first job done of the ad. Like the whole purpose of the whole funnel is to make sure that we take the customer step by step. The purpose of the ad is to get that click. And how you get that click is by exactly what I said. You need to have like a good creative. If you're just introducing yourself or just saying random stuff, it's just not going to work. Also, I have some examples on some things. I'm pretty confident in their ability to work. So for example, I have another one. Let me open this one. It's called Dental Implants in Houston, Texas. So let me open this ad.
In this video, we're going to be explaining why you shouldn't go to a large corporate implant center if you're In this video, we're going to explain In this video, we're going to be explaining why you shouldn't go to a large corporate implant center.
So that was a good hook. I like it. The only thing I would change in that was like, instead of saying in this video, but that's irrelevant copy, just remove that. Just start with why you shouldn't go to. That's pretty much it.
If you're considering getting full arch dental implants or all-on-4 dental.
Yeah, and he can make another version of this ad as well. Like if you're considering getting full arch dental implants. And I like that it's a 7-minute video as well. Because it just gives, if somebody's interested in watching this video and if they watch the full thing, they're practically sold. Because the more information a person can consume of you, the better. Now, does that mean you create like 7-minute videos? Not really. You can just do that with 30 to 45 second videos and perhaps add another video onto the actual website where they can watch and consume more information. Because you have to understand, the more information the client or the prospect consumes of yourself, the way better chance they have of converting. And the minimal information they have, the less likely they are to convert. That's why content is pushed very hard as well. That's why people post content in the first place, because you're giving people a variety to watch again and again. And if somebody clicks follow, they're practically guaranteed to get your video the next time you post it. So this is where all of it kind of like starts to make sense as well. So you have to make sure within this ad, they also need to have an Instagram profile or a Facebook profile, wherever they're running this ad, that they have a library of videos where people can go ahead and consume and watch. And then I also had a static example over here where it just gives them the So for example, let's say if somebody is in a state where they're looking for veneers or whatever they're selling. I like this ad because it targets those specific people pretty much right off the bat. Like, hey, we have this for $400 off. So if somebody's like price shopping or something, it kind of like reaches that market right off the bat because they're targeting the veneers. Now, usually veneers is like a low ticket to high ticket. For example, you perhaps advertise as a dentist, like, hey, we'll give you like a free exam or something, or come for something super cheap where we can actually get you in the database. And after you get them to the session, they're automatically, the trust level is pretty much high, or it's up there because you did a good job. And then from there, if you want to sell like veneers and stuff, they would be more capable of buying that. But this ad could potentially work. I would test it out for like 14 days, 14, 15, even 21 days, kind of like see how this goes depending on their budget and see what type of leads they're getting. And of course, if they're getting interested, people who, you know, are interested in like a veneer or something, just of course, they need to have a proper sales system to make sure that they're dialing those down as fast as possible. So same thing with the headline where we just talked about with the Apple example. You need to make sure that your headline is dialed in towards the market sophistication, because if you're just targeting very basic stuff and your market sophistication is at like level 4 or 5, it's just not going to work. Same with the hooks, same with the videos. You need to make sure that every video you create for an ad specifically needs to talk to that specific level of market and also educate the person and provide them value. So the more content they see of you, and this is something we try to do again and again, and we want to make sure that we overload that person with as much information as possible, so you're the only one they kind of like see within all the competition. Because the difference between this dentist office and this dentist office is like they're just putting more effort into the advertising side of things. And if they keep up this momentum, like they're just going to stomp all over these people, especially within the online sector. Now, of course, if this business has longevity and they're just trying out paid ads, which is fine, but over a 10-year horizon, this business is just going to do way better just because they have that online understanding of how things work and what type of information does a person need to actually have a successful campaign when it comes to the advertising side of things. But this is going to be extremely important as well. Just understanding the 5 levels of market and where your market is and how to advertise them is going to be a much needed understanding of what you need to do. All right, guys, that is all for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I try to keep it as value packed as I could. And there's a Calendly link in the description if you want all of this implemented for you, like it's a complete done for you model where we do the research, where the content is done for you, where the ads is done for you. Just book a call with me and my team, and then we can pretty much help you get that sorted as soon as we can. But as always, just make sure to subscribe to this channel if you did enjoy this video, because there's going to be more videos like this that are going to be coming out on a weekly manner. And also like, because it just helps the video push out to other business owners like yourself, and it helps me, you know, make more videos too, because I see the numbers going up and that kind of like motivates people to make more investments towards something that's working. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one.